Well, we all saw the young girl who was turned away from Culture Day at her school because she'd made a real effort to wear a Union flag dress like Geri Halliwell, also Union flag hat, and also she'd written a speech which she wasn't allowed to give about British culture and British values, things like tea, things like rule of law, things like Shakespeare, things like the royal family. She was banned by Bilton School, but here is the thing that I wondered. First of all, I want to congratulate from the bottom of my heart Bilton School for being entirely honest and open. The only thing that's unique about this school is that they have openly admitted racism against British people, whereas most schools in the UK practice it, but do not want people to know about it. Now, what does this case prove today? It's proved actually that there is a wider problem with racism in British schools and we need to deal with it. Now, I don't believe in all of this, lunatic fringe that we saw with the National Front or anything like that. I just believe that people should be treated fairly in their own country. Now, if that makes me far right, well, I'm willing to accept that. Although I think the argument about far right kind of disappears anyway. I think there's now patriots and anti-patriots is one axis, and people who believe in big government and people who believe in small government are the other axis. And so it doesn't bother me whether it's Rishi Sunak or Keir Starmer, as far as I'm concerned. They are politically the enemy, the both of them. But Bilton School has also done something quite helpful. They've put on their website a reading list of the books that their children are going to read. Now, it wasn't actually written out word for word, but the great thing is there's something called the Patriot Club, which you have donated to. It's not fabulously rich, and you can donate below, but it was able to help me pay for some research into the book list from Bilton School. Now, I'm going to go through each and every book that is advertised on their website that real children study, each and every one. Now, this may get gratuitous, but if you watch till the end, I'll be very much appreciative because A, you will know what those books are, and B, what will happen is other people will get this video. And I do want other people to see it. Particularly, do me a favour, send it to parents in your family via WhatsApp or whatever. Just hit the share button. The reason is because we want parents to know what their children are being subjected to in school, and they won't know this, and there's no point in me doing this research if nobody's going to watch it. God, this doesn't really sound like an entertainment product, but hey, we're all friends and family here. So just to be clear before I start reading, I don't believe that Bilton School are unique. Certainly they're a member of a wider educational trust anyway. And so I don't think there's any point in individually having to go at Bilton School. I think that the example of Courtney Wright is just an example. And frankly, I think there are more examples out there. But here is the reading list. You Could Be So Pretty by Holly Bourne, a dystopian young adult novel exploring beauty standards, misogyny and sexism. It follows Belle, who conforms to the oppressive doctrine, and Johnny, who rebels against it. When the two are forced together, they challenge societal norms and confront real-world parallels of the pressures on girls and women. Okay, so it's all about misogyny, effectively. Okay. A Kind of Spark by Ella McNichol. This novel centres on Adie, an autistic girl living in a Scottish village who campaigns for a memorial to historical witchcraft victims. The book shines a light on neurodiversity and the themes of compassion and courage. 100 Tales from the Tokyo Ghost Cafe by Julian Sedgwick and Chi Kutskawadada or something. I've pronounced that wrong. I do apologise. A collection that weaves Chinese ghost stories with manga elements, following Julian, Chi and Akari on a journey across Japan. The tales are interconnected and provide an insight into Japanese folklore and culture. Okay, A Romany Story. This is a collection of stories that research the history of Romany gypsies. There wasn't a lot of information about that. The Grimmelings by Raquel King, a middle grade fantasy about Ella, who unwittingly causes a classmate, to mysterious events tied to a vengeful Kelpie. Don't know what a Kelpie is. The novel evokes Scottish folklore and explores themes of grief, loyalty and courage. Okay, to be fair, the Grimmelings by Raquel King, I think we're into that, aren't we? Scottish folk. It's not English folklore or English heritage, but it is Scottish. So we've got there slightly. Have we scored, what is it? Is it 3-0 or whatever? 3-1 to them so far. What the World Doesn't See by Mel Darbon. Right, I've got to be honest with you. This is going to be dreadful, this one, isn't it? What the World Doesn't See by Mel Darbon. A moving story of siblings Maudie and Jake navigating grief, family breakdown. Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. Neurodiversity and the importance of acceptance. Here we go. The dual narrative offers authentic perspectives on learning disabilities inspired by the author's personal experience. Personal experience of learning difficulties. How well written is the book? God, that is a bit discriminatory. Just Like Everyone Else by Sarah Hager Holt. This is going to be a bad one. Right, come on. A middle grade novel. Does middle grade mean rubbish? Or middle grade in the middle of the school? Okay. A middle grade novel that investigates identity, unconventional families and accidental expectations, exploring surrogacy. And breaking down gender stereotypes. Apparently that's suitable for 9-year-olds. Right, okay. Movie Showing Nowhere. We couldn't see who the author was of this. The exact title and premise are not clear. Okay, we couldn't see that one properly. Okay, Fair Rosaline by Natasha Solomon. Okay, it's a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, but from Rosaline's perspective, focusing on her story and the fact that she wasn't really in it. Okay, okay. A more modern Shakespeare. All right, I've got that. I'm with that. Do you know what we should do? Give me 1 second. I think I'm going to try and charge the camera. If it cuts out, I'll just come back. Okay. Stolen Sister by Joan Lingard, a historical novel intertwining the themes of family secrets with mystery, set across different time themes. Okay, sounds sensible. I think we might be on 228 so far, 2-8. Okay, Louder Than Hunger by John Shue, a middle grade novel explaining eating disorders, survival and hope, told through the verse and diary entries, drawing on the author's personal history. Right, fine, okay. Little Bang by Matt Wyman. One would hope this isn't about grooming. The novel is a reference to themes of science and identity politics. Right, I just don't know what that... So, these are the reads for Refugee Week. Are you ready for this? Crossing by Manjeet Mann. A dual narrative about two teens whose lives are very dangerous because they are migrants crossing the channel. Okay, Boy 87 by Ella Fountain. A boy who flees dictatorship in Africa, facing harsh realities of being a refugee, whilst, as I can see, whilst holding on to hope and friendship of coming to Britain. This is all about the small boats, isn't it? The Bone Sparrow by Zana Fralian. Following a Rohingya child born in an Australian detention centre, portraying the story of trauma, friendship and resilience. Obviously, that's in order to prevent us from saying that what the Australians are doing are right. Illegal by Onin Colfer and Andrew Dolkin. A graphic novel illustrating the perilous journey of a refugee boy from North Africa to Europe, focusing on family separation and survival. After Tomorrow. How much more is there of this? Even I'm starting to get bored and I'm not watching. After Tomorrow by Gillian Cross, a dystopian thriller where British children become refugees themselves after economic collapse, experiencing hardship in the face of family unity. All right, well, that's likely to happen, that we have to be refugees from Britain. So I'm gonna grudgingly give that one acceptance. The Scent of Home. Okay, we don't know what that one is because we couldn't fully see the screen. Okay, Toffee by Sarah Crossman. Centres on Alison, who runs away from an abusive father, okay, and hides in a shed, and an elderly woman with memory problems. The book explores themes of identity, belonging, and unexpected connection. So identity. She couldn't just hide there, right? Okay, fine. Let's go for the next one. Alpha, Aberdeenajan de Gare de Nord. Aberdeenajan to Gare du Nord by Bessora and Breux. A graphic novel about a man's desperate journey from the Ivory Coast to Paris in search of his wife and child, depicting the dangers and hopes of migration. Who Are Refugees and Migrants by Andrew Rosen and Anne-Marie Young, a non-fiction book that explains the complex reasons behind immigration and the experiences of refugees and migrants. The Boy at the Back of the Class by Unjial Rauf, a story of Amat, a Syrian refugee who is welcomed by classmates and embarks on a campaign for justice and understanding. Refugee Boy by Benjamin Zafariah. Benjamin Zafariah is the worst ever poet. This is a turkey. People like turkeys. Turkeys taste good. That's what he sounds like. The impersonation's awful, by the way. Okay. Alem, a half Ethiopian, half Eritrean. Well, he would be, wouldn't he? A boy who is a refugee in London, battling bureaucracy and prejudice while seeking security. And Zanith and the Ruby Crown by Jasbinder Bilan, a magical adventure grounded in folklore. Well, it sounds all right. Identity and friendship following her quest to save herself and her family. This is what this school are teaching our children and young people. And I have to say to you, where is the Shakespeare? Well, I mean, I think Shakespeare's boring, but where is the British literature? Where is the history of Britain? Where is an attempt to talk about our country and what we are? It's all about how sad it is for refugees trying to get to their country. It's not just social engineering through refugees coming to the country. It's not just an eradication of our culture and our history, but it's force feeding children and young people all of these sob stories about all of these people. The solution to Syria is not to empty Syria into our country. But I want to say a big thanks to Bilton School for giving us that reading list and helping us to understand. I hope that you will look through that and ask your children and grandchildren, nieces and nephews, what books they're reading, because I have to say, I find that list absolutely shocking. Until next time, goodbye.